such that we can be able to have the recordings for our future sessions. You are most welcome for this session. I want also to welcome all the students that have joined this session. May I ask Megan to lead us in a word of prayer. Megan, open your mic and lead us in a word of prayer.
Okay. Oh, Heavenly Father,
Megan?
God above, we thank you for bringing us here with your love. We thank you, Lord, for our wonderful school. We thank you, Lord, for our everyday food. Protect us, Lord, and protect from harm. Protect us, Lord, with your loving arm. And let us be yearning to learn with your grace, O Lord. Amen.
Okay, thank you so much for the word of prayer. Let me ask you those who can to have your cameras on. So you can first turn on your cameras. So just turn on your cameras. Okay. So I think, yes, you can turn on your cameras. Okay. Let me ask Audrey. Audrey, can you move your camera around? Because I can't see you. You can move your camera around such that everyone can be seen. So Audrey, move it around such that other people can be able to see. I can see now I'm seeing Audrey. So, okay, yes, I'm seeing Matthew Evans, Joel, Dan, okay. So Linda and Lissy are those are the students. They're seated on their computers and gadgets. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Okay, then that is fine. I'm going to have my camera off. So I want to welcome everyone that is joining this session. Thank you so much for joining. Dear students, together we have Lindy and Lisa, and they are going to be joining us for many of the lessons we shall be having this term. But for this particular lesson, they're going to be observing what we are going to be doing in our lesson. And then next week or the other week, they'll be joining us as our teachers for a topic in mathematics. I'm going to be inviting them to talk to us, and then they will be introducing themselves. I think let me start with Lindy. You can unmute and.
So, hello everyone. My name is Linda indeed. I'm one of the teachers. So this year I'm studying an educational master's to become a teacher in high school. And I will be teaching mathematics and also economics. So I'm really excited to meet all of you and to teach mathematics to you guys.
Thank you so much, Lindy. So Lindy is the first name, and then Hussein is the other name. Okay, then Lisa.
Hello, guys. My name is Lisa, and my last name is Leemans, as you can see in the Zoom meeting. I'm also a student in the University of Antwerp, and I'm also studying to become a teacher in only mathematics for me. But I'm really looking forward to teaching you guys some mathematics soon.
Okay, thank you so much, Lisa. Okay. So, dear students, maybe I can give you a little background. I and Gilberti, we have a program where we are partnering with the University of Antwerp to have a collaboration with Uganda, such that we can have teachers from Belgium teach students in Uganda, and then we shall have Ugandan teachers also teach students in the Belgium. So that is the program that we are running, and we call it the COIL program. So that is the project that we are going to be running. We started it last year, and then we are going to be continuing with this program. So in this particular lesson, Linda and Lissy, they are going to participate, but they are focus today is going to be observation to see how we do carry our lessons in Uganda, such that they can have something to prepare for us when they come next time to teach us. And today I'm going to share my screen, and kindly let me know whether you can be able to see my screen. But to avoid the background noise, I'm going to mute you. And then in case there is something you want to say, then I'll ask you to unmute. But I'm doing so for security purposes, such that we don't have any poor background noise. So I'm going to share my screen, and then I'll share. So today, our topic that we are going to focus on is going to be nets, areas, and volumes of solids. So this is our topic today, and our competence by the end of this lesson, you must be able to make and draw 2D and 3D shapes and explore their properties. So this is a new topic and that we are starting today. So by the time we finish this topic, you must be able to know what we call a 2D and what we call a 3D and state their properties. But for this particular lesson, our learning outcome or our focus is to be able to identify the common solids and identify their properties, including the faces, the vertices, and the edges. And then our second learning outcome, so that is one of the learning outcomes that we are going to look at. And then the second one, we are going to be looking at the nets and also knowing what to call a net. So those are the two things we are going to be looking at in this particular lesson. But we are going to start with an activity for this particular topic. And these are some of the keywords that everyone must know as we start this topic. So I'm going to ask you to use the internet to research on these keywords. When you finish, then feel free to raise up your hand. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to research about the meaning of those words, and then you can use the chat to type in your answers or your findings, and then you can as well raise up your hand to give us the answer. So I'm giving you 5 minutes to be able to research for the meaning of those words. Okay, thank you. I'm seeing some answers that are coming up. Spice is saying dimensions are referred to as measures of the size, such as length, width, and height of an object or shape. Okay, thank you, Ice. So we have more 3 minutes to finish the assignment. So search for the meaning of those words. And then I'll ask you to raise up your hand, and then you share with us your findings. saying another answer coming in the chat. Benita, Queen, and Angel saying, volume is the amount of space that a substance occupies in an enclosed in the container. Thank you, Benita, Queen, and Angel. Okay, so we have more 2 minutes to finish the activity. We have 2 minutes to finish the activity. Yes, get ready. We shall have the meaning of all those 6 words. You must know what they mean. Use the internet, and then feel free to also give us an example. Joel, Dan, and Matthew are saying the net of a shape is a pattern that can be cut and folded to make a model of a solid shape. Okay, thank you, Joel, Dan, and Matthew. Okay, Daniela is saying two-dimensional things are flat. They can be measured in length and width, but they have no depth. Okay, thank you, Daniela. Area is the extent or measurement of surface or piece of land. Thank you, Luan, Chivumbi, and Melissa. A two-dimensional shape can be defined as a flat figure or shape that has 2 dimensions, length and width. Thank you. A pearl, a measurable extent of a particular kind, such as length, breadth, depth, or height. Okay, thank you, Pearl. Now the 2 minutes, the 5 minutes are done. Can we have someone raise up their hand and then you share with us? Raise up your hand in case you want to share with us your findings. Anyone, you can raise up the hand, click on the icon, and then you share with us your finding. Okay. So we can start with Megan. So Megan, unmute, and then you share with us what you have found out. Megan, unmute. Melissa, you can as well unmute, and Chivumbi. Unmute. Okay, in the chat. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes, Pam, unmute.
A two-dimensional shape can be defined as a flat figure or a shape that has 2 dimensions, length and width. Two-dimensional or 2D shapes do not have any thickness.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Pam. Okay. Yes, that is very true. Now, when you look at all the answers you have been giving, we have 3 things. You have talked about the dimension, and we know that when we talk about dimension, we are looking at the means of measuring something. So here, when you are measuring or giving the measurements of something, you can either base on its length, you can also look at its width, you can as well look at its height, or what we are calling the depth. So that's what we call the dimensions. So many of the figures that we are going to be dealing with in this topic, you are going to be required either to measure their length and width, or to use their height, depending on which quantity you are looking at. When we talk about a 2-dimension, like we have said, this is one whereby you are looking at the quantity but you are looking at its length or width, or you can. But like Daniela told us, it is always a flat surface. So we are going to look at the different solids, and those solids we shall either determine whether it is a 2-dimension or whether it is a 3-dimension. So I'm going to still ask you to use the chart and you type any common solid you know. It can either be a 2-dimension or a 3-dimension. In fact, I can as well ask you, those who can, feel free to press, you can write on the screen, write on the screen. Or you can use the chart. Any common solid you know, just mention the name of that figure is what we are interested in. Feel free to type in the chat, or you can write on this screen if you can. Okay, Joel, Dan, and Matthew are saying a cube. Thank you so much. That is correct. Yes, we have a cube, okay. I'm saying, okay, Chivombi is saying a cube. Okay, a book, okay. That is Audrey, yes. A brick, okay, very good. Yes, now I'm going to ask Benita, Queen, and Angel to tell us the particular name for that figure. Audrey, also tell us, when you look at the book, which figure does it bring out? When you look at that solid, which mathematical figure does it bring out? Now, that is the solid we are going to look out for in this topic. Look out for, and Megan is saying a cuboid. Yes. So those mathematical figures, when you look at a book, it has a particular figure, a mathematical figure that brings out. Yes, Daniel and Shama, they are saying a cylinder, a table. Okay. Okay. Then that is very okay. So those are some of the different figures that we are going to be looking out in this. And all those figures are called solids. Any mathematical figure you know, we can call it a solid depending on the kind of measurements we are going to be dealing with. Now, I'm going to ask you to type in the chat what we have as our A, B, C, and D. What are the names of these figures we have? So when you look at the screen, these are what we call the 2-dimensional figures. So I want you to type what are the particular names for these figures. Use the chat to type. Okay, A is a square by Megan. B is a rectangle. A is a square. C is a circle. Let's type in the chat. D is a triangle. Okay, triangle. Okay. B is a triangle, Mass and Pearl. Okay. Triangle. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to write the answers I'm saying. So they are telling us that D is a triangle from the answers I'm seeing in the chat. They are telling me that C is a circle, which is very okay. A, they are calling it a square. And then lastly, okay, B is a rectangle. Now, the figures you are able to see on your screen, these are what we call the 2-dimensional figures. So being 2-dimensional figures, it means you can either obtain their length, you can obtain their width, or at worst, you can obtain their depth. But as long as you can only measure 2 of their things. When you look at a square, I can obtain this side, which I can call either the width or the length, but this side, but also I can obtain or measure this side. When you look at a rectangle, you can obtain its width. So this is the width, and this is what we call our length. So it qualifies, since it has only 2, then we can say it is a 2-dimension figure. The same thing happens when we have a circle. The same thing happens when you have a triangle. Now, I want you to type in the chat, what if we want a 3-dimensional figures? What are some of the examples for a 3-dimensional figure? You can use the chat. Type any 3-dimensional figure you think we have. use the chat to type any three-dimensional figure you are thinking about. A cube, a cuboid, a cube, a cuboid. A sphere. Okay, perfect. Okay, a cube, a sphere. Yes. So those are correct. Thank you, everyone. And now we go to this. I'm going to ask you to name the figures you are seeing on the screen. So I'm going to ask you to name the figures you are seeing on the screen. Name those figures. Name those figures. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, there is a sphere. C is a sphere. Good. B is a cylinder. Yes, and A is a cube. Okay, thank you, everyone. So we have a sphere, we have a cylinder, and then we have a cube. Okay, that is beautiful. So we are going to continue. Okay, yes. Now, everyone now, I am sure you can be able to name what we call a two-dimensional and what we call a three-dimension. But before we leave the three-dimension, for it, you can easily notice that for it, you can have this side, which you can call your height. Then you have this side, which you can maybe call your length. And you have this side, you can easily call your width. But this one being a cube, we know that all the sides are going to be equal. So all these sides are of equal length. But you can notice that for it, you can have this side, you have this side, and then you have this side. So for this one, it qualifies to be called a three-dimensional figure because it has three areas of measurements. It has three areas of measurement. So we call it a three-dimensional figure. The same thing happens when it comes to your cylinder. It also has the same properties. Also the cylinder, it has three dimensions. The same thing happens when it comes to a sphere. Now, okay. Yes, now I want you to use the chart to name two-dimensional figures and to name three-dimensional figures. You have interacted with name two-dimensional figures and two three-dimensional figures you have interacted with in real life. In fact, you can even raise up the hand. Yes, can we have someone raise up the hand? Tell us two-dimensional figures you have interacted with and three-dimensional figures, objects that you have interacted with in real life. In case there are any figures that you have been interacting with in real life, kindly raise up your hand and then you share with us. Having looked at the different shapes, now we're asking, okay, yes, you can raise up the hand again. Yes, was it Pearl? Yes, any two or three dimensions you type in the chat. It is not easy here. Type in the chat any two or three-dimensional figures you think you have interacted with in real life. Yes, I want you to look at the shapes and say, I have interacted with this figure. I have interacted with this figure at least. Okay. Okay, very good. Ice Spice has told us they has interacted with a cone, cylinder. People have interacted with a cube. Okay, good. Yes, those are some of the figures we have interacted with. People who play soccer. I'm very sure you have interacted with a ball. So you are looking, those are some of the figures that we can have. Now, our task here is I want you to look at the solid shape we have on our screen, and I want you to label the parts that we have. I want you to use the chart again to label the parts you have. Okay, Benita Queen, they're saying they have interacted with the Pentagon. That is very good. So I want us to label. Those who can, you can even write for us. How do we, okay, good. Audrey is saying A is the vertex. Okay, Paul, continue and write. Paul, continue and write. Okay, that is Paul. Paul is saying a face. That is correct. So C, they are calling it an edge. Okay. Then B, they are calling it a face. That's what I saw Paul writing. And A, you're calling it a vertex. Okay, that is good. So those are some of the parts of that we have for a solid. And that is very correct. Thank you, everyone. Okay, those are the different parts that we have. I'm going now to ask you to have people to fill in. I want every group we are going to write, looking at those shapes we have. I want you to put the answer where we have the property. Where we have the property, put your answer there. Put right here on the screen. How many faces you are able to see, how many edges and vertices. Yes, I'm okay. Yes, yes. Okay, I'm waiting. Let us complete how many vertices for each figure. We can write. Let's write. Continue. Continue writing. Okay. So we have to complete the vertices. Complete the vertices. Okay. 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 Yes, that is good. Okay. That is okay. So those are some of the figures, but I'm also going to ask you as part of your assignment, one of the assignments you're going to do after this lesson, you are going to go on and complete column 2 and column 3. Column 2, you are going to go on and draw a shape of the cone and fill in these spaces. How many faces does the cone have? How many edges and vertices? The same thing will happen to the pyramid. So you have to fill in those columns. So you can take a screenshot and then you complete it. Okay, we are going to proceed to the next one, what we call a net. What we call a net. Now, when we are looking at the net, a net is a two-dimensional figure. And when it comes to the two-dimensional figure, what we call a net is that for all the figures you have seen, whether it is a cube or whether it is a cone, once you open it, what you get is what we call a net. In case you have a ball, when you open it, what you get is what we call a, when you unfold a box, what you obtain, we call it a net. So a net is something we obtain to form a three-dimensional figure when we unfold it. So when you unfold any figure, what you obtain is what we call a net. And I have some few examples here we can look at. So I want you to match. So we are going to work in what the first group. I want the first person to match for us. When you look at those solids, the colored ones are the solids. So when you open that solid, how does it look like? I want you to match. You tell us this one goes with this. That when I look at part this, it goes with this number. Down here, I've put for you the different numbers. I've put for you the different numbers. We have A, B, C, D, and down we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I want you to match that probably this one is going, yes. Thank you, Mas and Pal. Can we have another person also match? Thank you, Master and Paul. That is correct. We can match. I'm saying the matching is on. Yes. When you open, what do you get? Okay, Chivombi and Melissa. That is okay. Okay, perfect. I want to know through the chat whether we are on the same page. Kindly answer in the chat whether we are on the same page, whether we can continue. Say yes or no. Are we on the same page? You can say yes or no. Just type in the chat. I want to find out whether we're on the same page. Okay. 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 It seems we're on the same page. Now, what are we going to do? I want to find out whether we're on the same page. So to do this, I'm going to do something very easy. I'm going to give you a link. Allow me to stop sharing. I'm going to give you a link that we are going to join as a group. I'm going to give you a link that we are going to use as a group, and then I'm going to ask you to join online, and then we try out this activity. So the activity is loading. So I want you to go to quizzes.com. So that's where we are heading. So I want you to type, I want to see everyone join. So I want you to go, I'm posting in the chat. I'm posting in the chat the link. So tap on that link in the chat, and that is the code. So I want you to join. So tap that link and put in the code and join. So we are going to see which is the best group. We are going to see which group is the best. So let's join myquiz.com and put in the code. Yes, let's join. So far 3 groups have joined. Four groups have joined. 5. We are waiting for the other groups to join. So far we have 5, 6. Join, tap the link in the chat. Tap the link in the chat. 7. Some few people have not joined. Let's join. Let's join. Yes. Yes. Linda and Lisa, feel free to join as well. If you wish, you can join and okay, that is fine. Okay, I think we are good to start. We are good to start. Okay, now I'm going to start the game, but please make sure you look at the time you have. Be mindful of the time. Okay, so that is how you have performed. That's how you have performed. So we congratulate the first group of Daniela, Shama. Uh, Thank you so much, Lindy, for trying. This is very nice.
Oh, for real. Hi, you guys.
Thank you so much. Okay, thank you. Yes, Pal. Pal, you can unmute. Seems you have a question. Pal, Pal, unmute. Okay, okay. I want to thank everyone that has tried. Thank you so much. I want to ask, I know you may have some questions for Linda. Okay, so I know you may have some few questions for Lindy and Lisa. So Lindy and Lisa, feel free to unmute and you first talk to us again. And maybe these students may have some few questions. Let me,
Yes.
okay, let me spotlight you. Okay, okay. Yes, in case you have any questions, anything you would like to ask them, feel free to let me ask them to unmute. And in case there's any question you want to ask them, anything maybe about math, anything you want to know, so kindly unmute and ask them. Any questions, dear students? Feel free, any question you want to ask them, anything you want to know. It can be even about Belgium, because I know some of you may wish to study from there. You can ask them. Yeah. Okay, unmute your microphones, unmuted, unmute and ask. You want to?
Thank you for the lesson. Thank you for the
Let me first
lesson.
work on the mic.
Thank you for the lesson.
I'll come again, your question. I think they are not so clear. Okay, but yes, Lindy, feel free to talk to us anything before we close, and Lisa.
So what was the question?
Okay, I wanted to just tell them briefly anything, any motivation about math, anything you want to share.
Just about me personally.
Anything, feel free.
Okay, so anything I want to share is I really liked to see you guys work in the Zoom meeting and to see how everyone is collaborating to work together and to find all the right names and all the right figures. So I was really happy to see that. And I really enjoyed doing the quiz as well. Although sometimes for me it's difficult because most of my mathematics I learned in Dutch, so that is my native language. And so the English terms are sometimes, I'm not used to them. So I will be learning some more about the English mathematics. So I was really happy to join today and I hope I can learn you guys something soon.
Okay, thank you so much, Lindy. Okay, yes, Lisa.
For me, kind of the similar things that Linda said already. I'm not used to all the English words because I was always taught in Dutch. I had some classes that were in English, but not about this topic that we saw today. But I really enjoyed how interactive this class was and how much you guys loved to help and reply and answer the questions that the teacher asked. It's always nice to have those students in class. And I'm also looking very much forward to giving you guys a lesson myself.
Okay, thank you so much, Lisa and Lindy, for joining this session. Thank you so much, students, for joining. I'm going to ask the students to drop off, and then I will stay with Linda and Lisa online. Then we prepare for the lesson for, I think, next week. Linda and Lisa, they will be your teachers next week, and they will be taking us through some of the topics. So I'm going to ask you can now drop off and go in for your next activity, and then I will stay with Linda and Lissy online. Okay, yes, Lindy and Lissy, let's move your, I think it is still, is it an afternoon, your side?
Yeah, it's a little past noon in our time. It's 1 o'clock, like 1:18.
Okay, 1:18, it is an afternoon. Okay, how is the afternoon?
What did you say?
How is your